Welcome to the 30-minute hour. It's the personal development podcast for the seven-figure entrepreneur who's looking to level up and become unstoppable. I'm your host, Eric Twiggs, your procrastination prevention partner. Now, my normal co-host, Ted Fells, you know him as the super CEO. He's not going to be joining us today. He is attending a conference. So we wish him the best. But today we're going to be talking about how to thrive in a toxic environment. You ever just been around toxic people and just a lot of negativity, and you feel like it's keeping you from getting to where you truly could be? Well, we're going to talk about that today, and we're going to talk about specific strategies to overcome that. I've got a well-rounded expert who's going to be joining us today. She is the author of the book Distractors, which is designed to help those who are allowing these toxic people in their space and preventing them from being all they can be. Not only is she an author, she's also a musician. And she has a song. You'll never guess the title of the song. That's right, it's Distractors. I know you wouldn't have guessed that. The song is titled Distractors. It came out this past Friday, right, Gerri?
Yes, it did. Yes.
It came out this past Friday. So definitely you want to pick that up and listen to it. It'll really help you to move things forward. But again, we're going to talk about how to thrive in a toxic environment. Let's go ahead and bring our guest for the hour on. Please join me in welcoming to the 30-minute hour podcast, Gerri Holmes.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Hi out there.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, truly an honor to have you on. This is a fascinating topic. This whole toxic environment, distractors. I'm just curious, like, how did this journey begin? I was doing my research on you. Apparently, this all started for you 30 years ago. Tell us about it. Like, how did this journey begin?
So I started identifying people behavior within my own family, because I'm the oldest of seven, and what you learn is as you're growing up, you know, when you're the oldest and there's other siblings, you begin to learn different personalities about your siblings, and you identify that they're not like your parents. And so as you begin to understand about people personality, their behavior, you're learning what you like and what you don't like. You're learning what feels good and what don't feel good to you. And so it started in my home, where if something was, I felt like that, you know, that was an awkward feeling. It gave me a negative vibe, or it gave me a feeling of sadness or something that was going on. So I start recognizing that as a child growing up. I knew the difference between my parents. I started learning, okay, my parents love me unconditional and they're going to love me and do for me regardless. Whereas your sibling would be like, I love you, but I'm still not going to do certain things for you if I'm mad at you. So you start identifying that growing up, as well as when you start going to school and you start relaying those similar personalities, when you get to school, in elementary school, middle school, and high school, and you start saying, okay, I don't know what this is, but I don't know if I like this type of person or I like what they're doing. So that's how my journey started a long time ago, where I got to a point where I identified those types of people in my life that I did not want to be around no longer.
Mm. And so you have a name for them. You've called them a distractor. So
Yes.
what is the official definition of a distractor?
Now there are good and bad distractors. So let me clear
Mm,
that up. There are good and bad distractors. But I
interesting.
think when that word I will always repeat so many times, as a child, as a teenager, and then of course as a young adult, I kept saying, "Oh my God, I'm trying to finish up something. I'm trying to do something. They're a distractor. You're distracting me. Oh my God, I can't get that done. These are such distractions." So I was saying the word a long time ago. Distractors, the bad ones, are people and things that is in your way when, number one, you're trying to accomplish something. Number two, they are people that will knock you off your purpose in life. If you're trying to accomplish something, they seem to always want to be in your way. They're not just people, they're things. It could be fear that's in your way, that's allowing you to not achieve some of the things that you need to do in your life. It could be negative folks that are around you, that you are allowing them to dictate to you how your life should be. So it could be things, it could be people. People are the ones that's around you. It could be family and friends. They're negative. You're excited about something, and they can come into your life and say, "Oh, you can't do this. What makes you think you're better than me?" And so they start giving you those vibes, like, you can't achieve this or that. Narcissistic people, they can't do any wrong. They always want to be around you, but they're not doing anything, so they don't want you to do anything. They're followers that follow you, but they're not doing anything themselves. It can go on and on. There are people that are gossipers. You can say for the day, "I'm trying to get this done. I've wrote out my list for the things to do today," but then you get a call from one of your friends or coworker or family member, and they want to gossip all day. So you look up, you've been on the phone with this individual for about 6 hours, and guess what? You didn't get nothing done because you're entertaining a gossiper who's now become a distractor that have tied up your entire day. So distractors are people and things that knock you off course, prevent you from your purpose, or things that you're trying to achieve, and you can't get there because you're allowing them to be in your way.
Hmm. So you said something that really interests me here. So what is a good distractor then?
A good distractor is someone who's causing a good prevention that's in your life. It could be someone that is trying to distract you from a blowout. Okay,
Mm,
if there's a need, okay, if you are riding down the road and then there's someone walking in front of you, or you getting ready to have a flat tire, you want someone to distract you because that's a safety thing. You want someone to keep you from having an accident. So good distractors are definitely people that are looking out for your best interest. They're looking out for, protection, safety. Okay. Those are the good distractors. Okay. They love you. They want the best for you. So they might stop you and say, "Oh my gosh, you be careful. There is a hill there. So we want to make sure you don't step down and break your leg or injure something, fall down this hill." So those good distractors are going to be helpful, and they're going to say wonderful things to you. They may stop you, but they're also encouraging you. So those are good distractors.
So it's interesting as we're talking about distractors. I have a friend who, he started making more money in his career, and they've upgraded their house. And he tells me like he's gotten to a point where he has to stop telling people around him about it
Right.
because they're just all of a sudden they're treating him differently. They're
Mhm.
all of a sudden they've got negative comments. "Oh, what are you doing? Are you a drug dealer?" Or "Oh, yeah." And he's had to. I mean, so what advice do you have for someone like that? I mean, it sounds like he's got a distractor problem.
Comment. Yeah, so yeah, those are people, and I always say this to individuals that are trying to achieve something or accomplish wonderful things in their lives. It's not that you've changed the people that are successful. You haven't changed. It's the people around you that have changed, right?
Yeah.
These are people that want to accomplish things in life that they're not willing to do or don't want you to do. And so and then they some folks are caught up on thinking that everyone does the same thing to achieve success. Drug dealer, you're doing criminal activity, especially when it comes down to African America. So what you do in those cases, when someone would say negative things to you, the response that I encourage people to say is that, you know everything is going well in my life, and you don't have to explain to people what you're doing. And that may be their belief on things, but you don't have to justify what you're doing. You just encourage people. You say, these are the things that I've set out to do, and I'm happy about it. And I would advise you that those things that you want to do in life, just do it. So you can't always entertain people behavior when they say things like that. What you do is you be mindful of those individuals, and then you be careful what you say around them, because you know the outcome, sometimes could really upset you, or it could encourage you. So it depends on what type of individual you are. So when you run into those people that are negative naysayer, you just smile and say, you know what, I don't have to entertain that, but I'm doing well, I'm happy. And you might want to look into finding things that make you happy. You always want to provide, when a negative come, always provide them with a positive response.
Yeah. Now we have a lot of entrepreneurs who follow and listen to us and all of that, and a lot of them are striving. And I'm thinking, just from my experience, and certainly welcome your input, that some of this comes with the territory. Like when you
Hmm.
start to level up, you're going to face negativity. You're going to have people. You're going to have critics. You
Hmm.
start to get out there on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok. You're going to have trolls, people saying negative things,
Hmm.
people that are just jealous. And what's the saying that people don't mind that if you do well, they just get mad when you start doing better than them.
Right, right.
So what are your thoughts on that? I mean, should this just be a natural thing that's a sign that someone's doing well?
Yes, it's a natural thing, and also you don't want to allow others to take your power, right?
Yep.
So when you're doing successful and you're doing well and you're striving for things in life, you got to remember that you're going to run into a lot of people that are not doing that. They're not as encouraged. You're not. We all. I believe we're all designed to thrive, right? But when that it comes with the territory, as you go up the ladder, you're going to run into those type of people, but you don't allow them, you don't entertain that, because what you're doing is you're allowing them to take your power away, right? You allowing them to take your power away. And so when people say negative things to you, you just give them a smile, and you can either sit up there and entertain them, or you can say, I'm happy with my life, I'm happy with what I'm doing. And if there's something, I always say respond in an encouraging way. I'm doing great. I love what I'm doing. And if there's something that you like doing or you love doing, I encourage you to do so. So you respond to them in a way where it doesn't bother you. Because if you get mad and upset, you have allowed them to take your power away. And then that can be a thought that can carry you, of a second of sadness. Like, why did they say this? I mean, God, I mean, you're doing wonderful. You don't have to convince anyone that you're doing wonderful, great things in this world. Don't allow others to take your power. That's their decision. If they don't want to do good in life, or they don't have any motivation, or they're not encouraged, their job is to come and tear your spirit down. Their job is to make you feel bad about the things you're doing. Stop allowing, or stop giving power to others.
Yeah, I think you just have to consider the source. 'Cause a lot of times people deep down they regret that they didn't take the chance. They had the same opportunity that you had. They had
Right.
the same opportunity, Jerry, to put out a put out a song. They had the same opportunity to write a book. They had the same opportunity to be on different podcasts, but they didn't put
Yes.
themselves out there. But deep down,
Yes.
they feel some kind of way about it, and they have to express it. So I think you just have to
Yes.
understand that that's natural. But go ahead.
I mean, you always say respond. If they come after you with something negative, just respond to something positive. It's
There you
not
go.
too late for you. I mean, you're still living. If you something you want to do, I mean, even they say, who do you think you are? You think you bigger and better than me? No, I don't. But if there's something you want to do in this life, you have the opportunity to do it as well. So you respond to them in a positive way. you know
Yep.
that gets them
Respond
every
with
time.
positivity.
Yeah, respond
Absolutely.
positive to them. Yes, all the time.
But it's funny you say, because I think that is just so disarming. I just remember I had somebody sending me like this nasty email about something. And I just said, "Hey, I wish you all the best." And you can just tell with their email response with caught them off guard. It was just like, okay, thanks.
Right, right. Because you know what? Yeah, because you can get sucked into the negative thinking about yourself.
Yep.
They're thinking negative, but you can get sucked in and then start self doubting yourself. You know what
Right.
I mean? It's like you don't don't. Here's when you're focused and you're trying to do things in life, especially when it's take you a while. Like myself, I was distracted for a while, and I was allowing, that's why I identified them, and I was allowing people and things in my life, and I kept delaying, and I kept putting it off, and I kept, feeding off of that. But the minute I came through that storm, the minute I decided I was no longer going to allow them to get in my way and stop giving them my power, everything start happening in a wonderful way, because I believe everyone is designed to thrive. Everyone is designed to do great things in life. Progress is not perfection, but at least if you get up there and try it and you achieve it and you stay focused, you can get it done. So you don't blame others, for the things that you've gone through. You live and you learn through life. And if they blame you because you've accomplished things, if you can't entertain them with unnecessary negative response, because that means that, again, they've stole your power. They've stole your
Mhm.
power. So I always
Yeah,
tell people, everybody is designed to thrive. Know your self-worth. What is your worth? Do you know your worth? you know don't let the other opinion of other people think you're not valuable. Know who you are and believe that.
that's very important. I mean, because you're never going to succeed beyond what you feel you're worth.
Right. And you
Eh,
want to stop seeking approval from other people. Why do you
Yeah,
need approval for someone to do something that's in your heart to do? Stop seeking approval from everyone.
yeah.
you know
No, great points. Great points. So, all right. So, what advice, Jerry, do you have for that person? They're listening to us, they're watching us, and they realize that they are a distractor. What advice do you have for that person who now realizes that they are a distractor and they need to stop distracting?
when that saying that says, if somebody keep telling you the same thing about yourself, you getting it from like 4, 5, 6 different people. um you need to take some time to self-evaluate. If people are saying, you're negative, Jerry, you're negative, you're negative, you this, you always mean, somebody is not lying. So what I would say is, be mindful if different people are telling you the exact same thing. You want to be very attentive when people are telling you. It's like a warning. If so many people keep telling you the same thing, there is some truth in this. So I would tell them, listen, self evaluate, and try to find out, why is it that people are telling me that? Is it true? Mom, go to somebody that you trust, someone that you respect, and say, look, several people have told me I was negative, or I was mean. Get to someone that's going to be honest with you. And when you do that, be willing to listen and be open minded about that, because sometimes there are people that walk around in life, and people would allow them to just go through life being mean, or nasty to people, or ugly, or negative, and they're scared to say something to them. Oh, that's how they are. But if you want to change, if you want people to be honest, you got to be willing to accept the truth. You got to be willing to let people to be honest with you, and you got to be open-minded to receive it. And when you do receive it, when you have been informed and you receive that information, take it, self-evaluate, and do something about it. Don't get mad if you've heard that all the time, and you hear it from different people. If you hear the same thing from different people, there is some truth in that. So you got to be willing to accept that, and be willing to receive it and do something about it. And don't get mad, because you probably done that already. You know what I mean? You've probably done that so many times. So there's some truth in people coming to you and say, you're a distractor. You're distracting my life. You always coming here with this. You've been telling me this forever. I mean, you just can't keep saying this or doing this. Be willing to receive it. Be willing to understand that not all 5 to 10 people, 20 people can't be telling a lie on you.
Yeah, and it's interesting 'cause I do think some of it, like if we talk about this idea of distractors and being in a negative environment, sometimes you attract that, right?
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
sometimes there's a reason. If everybody in your circle is toxic, I mean, there's something with you that's attracting. Especially if you look at, you mentioned gossip earlier. right?
Yes.
If people are always coming to you with the latest gossip, there's a reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you? I
Yeah.
mean, because I think you have to be careful. And I think I hear here's what I think, and you're the expert. You can let me know what you think. I think if you're in a toxic environment, probably one of the first places you should look is in the mirror. You should be asking, is there anything within me that's attracting this toxicity in my life? What are
Right.
your thoughts?
Oh my God, that's interesting that you mentioned that. Sometimes people draw to you, like they draw. Like for me, a lot of people draw to me because I'm very positive. I try to encourage people. I try to inspire people, and so a lot of times people will come to you to try to draw you in or drag you into their mess. And I don't think it's necessary. I'll say probably that statement is probably 50% true, but sometimes people, when they see that you're focused and you're trying to do things in life, they're trying to come in there and start gossiping or just to throw you off track. Number two, they will come in and just to test you. Sometimes you're being tested to see if you're going to gossip about someone, or they may necessarily be looking for advice from you. So I've never been one to gossip. It's just that I may be a work, like let's say in the office, when I worked in the office with a group of people and we worked on projects together, and you might have you out of the group, they may say, well, how can we work on this project? What's the best way to go? Which steps should we take? And if you're an outspoken person and you have a great idea or you have a great plan, a lot of time people want to hear that. Now, if someone is turning that into a gossip, then it's not necessarily that you're drawing it. It's just that I just want to hear their opinion about it. Or if that person is talking about one of the person on your team, if you get sucked into gossiping about that individual, then you're just as guilty. But sometimes when people got great advice, great suggestions, wonderful ideas, they want to hear that. But then some people can deter you and try to turn it into gossip. Well, you know what? I know that our boss told us to do it this way, but I don't want to do it that way because I don't think it makes any sense. I just think it's going to take us a long process. So if you feed into that gossip from that individual, then it will become that. So a lot of times even if you're a person that doesn't gossip, you could be like, how the hell did I get drawn into this? I was just there. I was just providing my input. Some people want to know what your opinion is, so they'll test you. Some people want to start gossiping, see if you're going to feed into that. And then there's an other individual that's messy. They just want to get a gang of people to agree with them. So how do you deal with gossiper? You just put them in check. I'm not here to gossip. I'm here to get the work done. I don't really have time to entertain that. If you want to go to lunch, if something's bothering you, I'll be happy to listen. So when you run into gossiper, you have to turn it in. You can't feed off of that. You're gonna run it. Listen, everybody's gonna run into gossiper. You're gonna run into them in the office, family, friends. You can be at a party and somebody don't gather together to talk about somebody at the party. You really can't get away from you can walk away, but you're going to run into gossiper. It's just the
Yeah.
way folks are. So it's how you handle that for them to give you the respect. Okay, I'm not going to talk to her because she don't enter. You ever heard that saying? Oh, she don't play that. She don't entertain that. So when you set up a reputation to not entertain that and you walk away, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to come back to you with any type of unnecessary stuff. But if you feed into it, oh yeah, I did see Bob over there, talking to her. I know he got a wife, but did you see how he looked at her? So yeah, I saw it. But if you say that's not my business, I'm not in it, Bennett ain't in it, whatever that saying is. And we're on the job. Why are you gossiping about people like that? Why, you don't even know their situation. But if you respond in a way where they know never to approach you again, you really won't have to worry about that individual. Doesn't mean you're not going to find another person you're going to run into, because it's going to be out there. It's how you handle them so they won't come back.
No, totally agree. Great
Yes,
points. Great
yes,
points. So let's talk about your book. It's
yes,
called Distractors. So,
yes.
so, so who is like the ideal target audience, and how specifically will your book help people?
It's really for those in their 20s, mid 20s, all the way up till, adult, young, old, older, young adult, older adult, because by the time you get in your mid 20s, you've gone through some things with people, right? You've got the chance to see things. So I would say in your 20s, you recognize things that don't make you feel good. Like I said earlier, when you go through experience with your family, friends, from elementary, middle school, your own siblings, you've already identified personality and behavior that you don't like, right? Now, you may not know yet how in your 20s how to really deal with that. You may not know what steps to take at that moment because you're trying to understand it. And then the next thing you might try to figure out, why do I keep attracting the same type of people? Is it, like you said earlier, is it me? So in your 20s, you're trying to understand it. You don't know why this person's way. When you're in a family environment, you might have a cousin that is around all the time, always coming to family functions. And so you can't, we didn't pick our family. God gave us our families. Okay. So we didn't pick our family. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to always see your cousin at Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving, summer vacation and all of that. So when you're in your 20s, you're, or either I'll say this, even when you, a young kid, when you're around family members, you don't have a choice but to go to the Christmas dinner, the Thanksgiving dinner, and the New Year's Eve, and because you're a child. You're gonna go and you got to deal with what your hand is given that day, because your parents say get in the car, we're going to church. We're going to dinner with family, and so you're gonna be around that. When you get in your 20s, now you're sort of on your own. You got some decisions to make, right? So you got to decide, now I need to, work on doing something about it. You may not yet know how to do that in the proper manner, but you learning. When you get in your 30s, you start saying, okay, I'm going to move this person out. I'm going to move this person in. I'm going to move this person out. But as you get older, you start realizing that there's certain things you're just not going to tolerate anymore. There's certain things, distractors under that distractor, like I said, is follower, is gossiper, is narcissistic people, it's what I call mean girls. You got the individual that is negative. So it's a lot of people that you'll learn and live and learn along the way in your life. And so some people are, they continue to deal with certain abusers. They may have been abused. So then they're attracting abusers. So they might keep dealing with them until they get tired of dealing with them, until they've had enough. And then they say, oh, it's time to move this person out. So my target audience is for anyone that are dealing with individuals or things in their life that is keeping them from being all they can be in this life. Okay. Anybody that's making them feel sad, not loved, unhappy, miserable, abused, you know, it's any of those people. It could be at any age group. Some people get it when they're young and say, you know what, been there, done that. Don't want to deal with that type of person anymore. Okay. You could be dealing with fear. Do you know how many people that don't, that go to the grave and never accomplish their dreams?
Mm.
It could be fear. It could be something that occurred a long time ago that you're allowing to stop you from being all you can be in this life. So it can be all age group that are dealing with something that, I want to start a business. But if you're around naysayers that say, oh man, you ain't gonna start no business. Oh woman, come on now. You can't start a business. You ain't even got no money. You don't even know what you're doing. It's any of those. Everybody's around those type of people. So from the time you recognize distractors, the negative ones in your life, the minute you start recognizing it is time for you to start identifying those. Like I said, when I go back to family, you can't, we didn't pick our families. So how do you deal with that? You deal with it in a positive manner, or you remove yourself in a way where they're not affecting you as much as they did when you were younger, because you were forced to go to the Thanksgiving dinner with, your mom and dad. You were forced to be around the family reunion. So you had to run into them, but when you get older, you know how to walk your butt away. You know how to say, oh, let me go on over here. Or when you run up on them, I'm not going to entertain, this stupidity from you. I'm not going to deal with you. I'm not going to tolerate this behavior from you. And you walk away. So you learn these things as you starting from childhood to young adult, and then you get to your certain age in life. I'm in my 50s. Then you say, I'm not dealing with that anymore. I know what I want. I know who I want to be around. And you surround yourself around those type of people that makes you happy.
No, that's great, great. So any other practical tips for that person? We've got, like I said, entrepreneurs, business owners.
Hmm.
They want to be able to thrive, and they may find themselves in a toxic environment right now. What
Hmm.
other tips from your book can you suggest?
Oh my God. First, get the book. It's a lot of tips.
Get the book. There you go. Step
A lot
one: get the
of tip.
book.
There's a lot tip. Yeah, there's a lot of tip in my book that give you some advice. But the most important thing, I'm an entrepreneur as well, is to stay focused. Know your worth. Do not allow anyone or anything to steal your power. Believe in what, everybody that's entrepreneur, mostly everybody, they're visionaries. So if God give you a vision about something, that's the vision he gave you. Who are they to tell you that's not what you're supposed to be doing in life? So if you're given a vision, you have a dream, do it. Remove all those things out of your way that's preventing you from getting there. Stop them from drawing your power. Remove those negative people out your life so you can, this, because you're designed to thrive. You are designed to thrive. So you are responsible for making your own self happy. You are responsible for achieving those goals. You are responsible for doing the things that you want in life. What is your purpose? If you don't, who who fault is it? It's your fault.
Exactly.
It's your
Uh,
fault.
that's a great point. And we've got Steve, my man Steve Abrams. We go back 30 years plus. That's my Omega Line brother. He's in the comments. He's asking for the title of the book. The book is called Distractors.
Yes.
Steve, make sure you get a copy of it. Distractors.
Yes. Yes, Distractor. Yes, you can go on my website. It's on Amazon. It's in Walmart. My website is www.gerryholmes. That's G with the George, ERRI, Holmes, HOLMES.com. But you can get it on Amazon, Walmart, Barnes and Noble is online, or you can go to my website in order. And I will be, if you go to my website, I can order it, and then of course I can make sure I get it signed for you. Or you can, if you go to my website, I can, make sure I sign it before I mail it. So, but yeah, that's how you can get a copy of the book.
Absolutely. Thanks, Steve. I put the name of the book in the comments in case anybody else that's watching has that same question. But no, I mean this is great stuff. What about you mentioned the narcissist earlier? That's an interesting one. Like what strategies, what advice do you have for the person that's got a narcissist in their life?
So yeah, so first you got to understand what type of people they are. Narcissistic people are never wrong. They're always right. It's always somebody else's fault. They never take the blame. Okay, it's always someone else's fault. There's their problem, and they want it to be all about them. And so when you recognize you have those type of people in your life, and it's always one that comes up every now and then, or they may, you may run into them, or those type of people, you don't announce that you don't want to be a part of them, but you have to be brutally honest with them about things. I mean, put your big pants on and be honest with them. You don't have to. I always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it to them. Okay. So if that's who they are, that's who you're around. You just have to approach them in a way. If they come at you and they're repeating the same thing, or they're never at fault, you just got to be honest friend or honest family member and say, look, you've come to me before with this. Have you ever thought maybe you need to reevaluate yourself? Have you ever thought maybe you're the problem? You need someone, you got to be brutally honest with people. I mean, again, it's not what you say, it's how you say it to people. And a lot of times when narcissistic approach, it's not my fault. I didn't do anything. I didn't mess with, they never do anything wrong. They always they want your attention and all that. But you got to be honest with those people, okay? Because if not, they're going to be around, because they feel that because you're around them, everything that they're doing, every type of behavior that they're carrying on with, it's okay, because you're sitting around and allowing them to do it. So you have to be brutally honest with them about, I've heard you talk about this person so many times, but you're not looking at what you're doing. You're not understanding that you're part of the problem. You know, so you got to be honest with them, but don't be mean. You know, don't be nasty because they're not going to receive it very well because they never at fault. They're never the problem. You know, but you just have a sit down, honest talk with them. We are grown people. You know, you have to have a conversation and be honest. They're not going to like it, and they're never wrong, but as long as you let them know, I'm just letting you know what I see. This is what I see. Whether they accept it or not, it's not on you. But what you see and what you're feeling, this is what I see. This is that my experiences with you, and I'm just telling you the truth. You can't go wrong when you tell people the truth. You can't.
No, the truth will set you free for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Now that's awesome. So, and now you've released this song. It's
Yes.
titled Distractors. So let's talk about, like, how did you get to the point where you wrote a song, you sang a song, and it's out there now?
Yes. Oh, wow. So I drafted the manuscript for the book Distractor in 2015. This is when I start feeding into the chapter. Remember, I started saying this word a long time ago, and it's just stayed in my head because that's how I felt. Everything, or every time I tried to get something done, I was allowing people in. I was allowing people to distract me. And so once I, you know, um, finally finished the manuscript, the book was published in 2022 last year. And so as I was beginning to promote the book and market the book, I just kept hearing these lyrics in my head. I don't have the time to waste time with you. You know, you're a distractor. You know, I'm trying to find out who I am. So these lyrics start coming in my head, and I said, oh my God, I need to start writing this down. But I didn't know at the time, in early 2022, I didn't know at the time I was going to make it a song. I just kind of started scribbling a word, and I'm an artist, not a musician. I'm a performer, I'm a singer. So when I start singing the words, I start writing them down, and then once I start writing, the words were coming from, I don't have the time to be entertaining you. Really, I got things I'm trying to do. I'm trying to figure myself out. You know, there's things I wanted to do, and you just continue to be a distractor in my life. So once I got the lyrics together, I said, oh my God, I really need to do something with these lyrics. And I start humming to myself, and I kept saying distractor, distractor, distractor. So I said, okay, let me just find, a friend of mine who works on tracks that can help me put this into a song. And so they start asking me, what kind of music you're looking for? Are you looking for jazz, gospel, country, R&B? And I said, I think I want to do a little R&B Afro beat. I think that's, you can not only, move your head to the beat and bounce, go back and forth, tap your feet or clap your hand or do a little dance, but these words are going to resonate with you. So 2022, worked on the lyrics, got it together. And then once I found, an idea track, I still wasn't quite happy with the track. I needed something else. So then I got with my cousin Stephen Jefferson in North Augusta, and he started, adding some more, interesting art Afrobeat to the song. So once I got the song together, I said, okay, I really want to record this. So I recorded the song July of 2023,
Hmm.
and then did the video. I did a music video in September. So when I tell you, moving distractions out of my way and got focused on what I wanted to do, everything was lining up for me. It was just becoming beautiful. It was awesome. And so yeah, that's how that started. So I said, wow, I want people to not only read a book, but these words may resonate with people. You don't have time to be always being interrupted by distractions. You got things you're trying to do. You got dreams you're trying to accomplish. You got so many goals that you're trying to reach. Why do I'm trying to figure me out. I don't have time to figure you out, So that's how the song came about. And I'm super excited about it. It was a message I wanted to relay to other people as well.
Hmm. So how can people get access? 'Cause, Jerry, you got people fired up. They're like, man, I need the Jerry kit. That comes with the
Yes.
book. It comes with the song. So
Yes.
how can people get access to this song?
Oh my God. They can go on my Facebook page. It's titled Gerri, Gerri. I have a Facebook page, Gerri. I also am on IG, Gerri 4H. You can find me there. And the music, and then I have a YouTube channel, which is Gerri. So you can find me there. But the link is, is there. It's on my website. You can see my music video. Also Spotify. If you're on Spotify, please sign up for Spotify. You can also go to my website. My information is there, www.gerriholmes.com. So you can find me. It is there. It's only one song out there titled Distractors. So yeah, you can definitely find me.
So if people want to get to the song, is the website the best place?
Yes, go to the website. Yes,
Okay.
sir. Go to the website.
Okay. Good
Yes.
stuff. Yeah, and I'm gonna towards the end of our broadcast, I'm gonna have you give everybody information again because I know
Okay.
people are really interested. So Steve um, has an interesting comment. He says he's got a different perspective from our earlier topic, and I'll certainly let you chime in here. He says he doesn't leave or diss the people. I guess we're talking about these are toxic distractors.
Mm-hmm.
He handles them by letting them play their role in their own manner, but he takes away bits and pieces from their delivery. Every person has something to give, whether positive or negative, and you can always learn something from any person. This helps shape all of us into our own person. I don't just eliminate them 100%.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, and I agree. Everybody, it's everybody needs somebody. So I'm not saying ever to, remove yourself from them, because sometimes there are people that need help. But you don't want their problems to become a burden on you, right? Because we're not designed to fix everybody, right? We're not designed to fix everybody. And yes, you can learn from that person, because you might have been a person that have experienced that type of behavior. But let's say you've changed and you run into someone that was doing the same thing. You can probably give them some great advice. Look, I've been there, done that. And the best person that can share that information is someone who's walked that same walk, right? So yes, you can, but you don't want that person to be a burden to you, where you are weighed down with all their issues and problems, where it's taking bits and pieces from you. Now you can help them by giving them some great advice, because like I said, if you've gone through a similar situation, you can relate. So then you can have a conversation. But if it's a person that's negative, for example, that's always negative, no matter what you say to them, they find a way to be negative. They find a way to be sad. They find a way to, they can't seem to get out of being, find a place of happiness. If you keep entertaining that all the time, trust me, you're gonna be so drained all the time, where you be like, oh my God, I just can't help this person. They keep talking about the same thing. They keep talking about it, but they're not being about it. So yes, one, you can learn. Yes, people need your help. Everybody needs someone, but the one that can be a burden to you. You identify those people, because the minute you see them, you probably say, "Oh, hey, what? What? Here they come! What? Oh Lord!" And then you might even go down the other hallway because you don't want to deal with them. You know who I'm talking about. Okay, those are the same people you want to run from, because you've talked to them. How many times I had this friend that talked about the same old stuff, year one, year two, year three, year four. You on the sixth year, you're talking about the same thing, doing the same thing. I mean, come on. You know who these people are. You know who these people are. If it's somebody new that that never ask you for some money, they never ask you, then that's not normally like them. I'm gonna help them. That's not them. But if uh, the same person keep coming and asking you for $20, come on now, or
Right.
$100, and then it goes up higher, and then it's the same person. Wait a minute, they something ain't right, something going wrong here. So the people you can help, and the one that you've helped, and the one that you can't help anymore. You know, so I said pick and choose. How you deal with that situation. But again, all distractors are not bad distractors, but the ones that drains you, burden you down, make you feel some kind of way, sadness. They listen, basically don't drain you of all the energy you had left for that day. You know who they are. You know who
Oh
those
yeah.
distractors are. You walk away like, oh my God, I was having a good day until I talked to them. So it can go many, many ways, but the most important thing, you know who they are. You've already identified them. And if they're new in the office and you don't know them, trust me, you will get to know them at some point in time.
Yeah, I think it just takes a level of discernment, right? And you just need to know. There's some people you just feel like your energy just goes down whenever they come into the room.
Right, because you've
it,
been
it,
around them.
yeah, yeah, and I just think sometimes you have to listen to your intuition. Your intuition is telling you something.
Right, right.
When you're around certain people and you start feeling some certain kind of way, that's your intuition talking to you.
Yes, exactly. I mean, but and right, you can feel something about a person, but you don't want to be judgmental. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
sure,
that person could be like I said, everybody needs someone, right?
sure.
Everybody needs someone. So they could be having a bad day. Or I remember walking in a park, and me and my nephew was walking together, and we were talking about God, and he was sharing his testimony. This one lady actually stopped us and said she passed us, and she was still listening to our conversation. But anyway, to make a long story short, she turned around and she stopped us and she said, I was so happy to hear your conversation, because I was thinking about going to kill my husband today,
Oh my
right?
goodness!
Yes,
Wow.
sir. And so, but because we were talking about God, and we want to always keep him in our lives, and I was kind of feeding that to my
Whew.
nephew, and he was sharing his testimony, and she stopped us and she said, I want to kill. I listened to your conversation. I knew I was meant to be here because I wanted to kill him. And we stopped right then and there to talk with her. We prayed with her. So at the end of the day, everybody needs someone, and sometimes you don't know what people are going through. So, you know, I want to make sure people understand that all distractors are not bad distractors, number one, but there are people that may need you to listen to them. They may need your help. They may need someone to talk to, and you might be that very, very person that they come into first contact with, that they need some advice on. They need someone to talk to. You never know what people are going through. Those are good, somewhat good distractors. But if the same people keep coming to you year after year, months after month, years and years with the same old stuff, talking about what they gonna do, and they got the book, they got a book they gonna write, and they've been talking about that for how long? Or they got a situation at home and they've been talking about it how long, that they're gonna deal with. You know who those people are.
Yep,
You know who they are. You know.
that is powerful. Oh my goodness, whew, that
Yeah.
is amazing. All right, so,
Yeah.
so we're coming down to the final segment. It's called "Write This Down," and this is where we'll both go around and give at least one idea from today's show that we want people to write down so they can level up. So, Gerri, you're the guest of honor. We'll start with you. What do the people need to write down from this episode?
Know your worth.
Hmm,
Know your worth.
absolutely. Know your worth. Write that down. I even wrote it down. All right. Good stuff. No, that's critical. So my piece for write this down is something I find myself saying frequently on these different platforms is that the fastest way to change your life is to change your environment. If you
Mm,
really want to make a change, get into an environment of people who are doing the thing that you want, that you're aspired to do, and they've got success. And you can get in an environment of people who are on their way, like you
mm,
are, that
yes.
can provide you uh, with encouragement. And it's like we talked about earlier how you have to consider the source. So, for
Mm-hmm.
example, let's say if you aspire to be, have your own IT company. We use that as an example, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you may tell somebody you knew from high school, hey, I'm going to start my own IT company. And
Mm-hmm.
oh, what do you mean you're going to start your? You weren't good in business classes. Oh, blah blah blah. I used to hang out in the corner. Da, 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 da. Now,
Yes.
if you said that to my co-host and business partner Ted Fells, who owns an IT company,
Yes.
he's not going to discourage you.
Right.
He knows what's possible because he's done it,
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
and he's doing it now.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. And I got one more for you. Listen, this is my motto. You can't change people, but you can change how you deal with people.
Mm,
You can't
ooh,
change them, but you can definitely change how you deal with them.
right. So, and then how you deal with them may not necessarily be cutting them off 100%, but
Right.
it may go from them having 75% access to 40%,
Oh
50%.
yeah, yeah. Don't go announcing I'm through with you. Please don't go telling people I don't want to be bothered with you no more. I'm cutting you off. You're a distractor. Don't do that. I don't want nobody to say said go cut the family and friends off and the employee. Don't do that. I didn't
Like, I was
say
watching this
that.
podcast and you're a distractor. I'm done with you. That's it.
Right. Don't make the announcement. Move silently. You can't change people, but you can certainly change how you deal with them. I learned that it works. You know you're gonna be over Aunt Bessie house. You excuse me, I know no disrespect to any Bessie, but you know
Right.
you're gonna be over there. You know the cousin gonna be there with some mess, okay? But you just move quietly. Don't get into no fight with no one.
Absolutely. Yep. You can't change people. You can change how you deal with them. And
Yes,
I
sir.
think that kind of goes back to even what Steve was commenting in the comments too. No, I think
Yeah.
that's great.
Yes.
All right, good. So I know we mentioned how people could connect with you earlier, but I think it's just important for people to get this information again because they need to get this book, they need to hear the song, they need
Yes.
to have access to your website. How can the people connect with you?
You can reach me at www.gerriholmes.com. That's my website. That's with a G as in George, ERRI, Holmes, HOLMES.com. So all my information is there. My Facebook social media page is Gerri, Gerri only. And then my Instagram is Gerri 4H. You can find me there. That's a 4H as in Holmes. And then my YouTube channel is Gerri, and I'm on Spotify. You can find me there. The music is there. The website is there, so you can follow. Everything is titled Gerri. I am also performing in front of 400 to 500 people coming up December the 30th at Motown Connection 313. I will be performing there. That's on Saturday, December the 30th, and also January the 6th. And that information will be on my Facebook and Instagram pages.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so it looks like we have that in the comment section.
Yes,
JerriHolmes.com is the
yes,
website. Make sure you get access to her content and her song. Definitely will help you to move forward. Yeah, this has been a fantastic and uplifting episode of the 30-minute hour.
yeah,
Again, if you've been listening and paying attention, you've got some tools and resources to thrive in a toxic environment. Thank you
yes.
again, Gerri, for all the
Thank
things that
you.
you shared. And for those of you watching and listening, don't forget to share the show.
Share.
That's right. Share the show, share this episode. And don't forget that you can actually listen to us, the 30-minute hour, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all those places. And make sure you subscribe so that way you never miss an episode in the future. That's our time for this week on the 30-minute hour. And until next time, have a great one.